All right. Hello, everybody. This is Ryan. I'm with SAE. Before we get started, we're just going to go through a few things for this SAE Aero Design registration Webex. The first thing I'd like to show you guys is I'm going to give you guys my screen. So at this time, you all should be able to see my screen. You guys, everyone's able to see my screen? Yep. All right. So throughout this WebEx, I'm going to ask that everybody remain muted. On the side, we do have a chat board that is opened up. If you need to access the chat, you just select the bubble next to someone's name, and make sure that when you're doing the to portion, it's to everyone. In the room, we have myself, Ryan Good, one of the program coordinators here with SAE. We have Jamie Knopf, one of the other program coordinators here with SAE. We have Kaylee, program manager for Formula SAE, SAE Clean Snowmobile, and SAE Super Mileage. And we also have the program manager for SAE Aero Design, Sam Burrell, here as well. And he'll be answering questions as well as Jamie and Kaylee. So throughout this WebEx, feel free to send any questions you may have. All right, so we're going to get started. This year, as you guys have most likely seen, we have had a few changes take place with regards to registration. We're going to be going through it right here with this PowerPoint to kind of help make it a little simpler for you guys. So, if you guys could make sure that you are muted throughout this chat. All right, so during the pre-registration phase, this will open up October 7th and it will run through October 14th at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The only people who can do pre-registration, those who qualify for the pre-registration, those will be the top 3 per class with Aero Design. What that is if you went to SAE Aero Design East last year and you placed in the top 3 in your class, you can pre-register during this phase. What are the restrictions? It is 1 university per competition, depending on the class. You can only register for the corresponding competition. And after pre-registration for allowed competition, universities cannot register for another competition until the second phase. Again, if you do have any questions about the pre-registration phase, make sure that you're asking it in the chat room on the WebEx. All right. So we'll go into first phase, which is window 1. Window 1 will start October 14th and will run through October 27th. There has been communication of these phases as well on saeaerodesign.com. If you have not been on there yet, please get on there and check the news feed. During window 1, only universities who did not register during the pre-registration can register for 1 competition until all competitions are sold out. So this means 1 university per competition unless different classes are offered. And no universities who pre-register. What does this mean when it says 1 university per competition unless different classes are offered? What this means is if you are registering for SAE Aero Design East advanced class, you can still register during this phase for SAE Aero Design West, but you can only register for the regular or micro class. All right. Going into window 2, which is our second phase. Starting October 28th and run through November 27th, all universities are permitted to register for as many open slots as possible. What are the restrictions? Once again, 1 university per competition per class. So during this phase, if you are in the advanced class, you register during window 1 for SAE Aero Design East advanced class. During window 2, you now can register for SAE Aero Design West advanced class. That is the new restrictions that have been put into place with SAE Aero Design for the 2020 season. Once again, if you do have any questions, please feel free to put them down in the chat box on the Webex itself. All right. At this time, we're going to go through a registration for a student. Okay. So up here, we are actually using our test site for this. But whenever you are going to register, you're going to be registering at www.sae.org. If you could, please mute yourself during the WebEx. Okay, so once you are at www.sae.org, you're going to want to make sure that you log in. If you could, please make sure you mute yourself. So we'll go into login. I'm going to type in my username and password in this section right here. And then I'm going to continue. Once I have logged in, I will know if I'm affiliated to my school properly. If you could, please mute yourself. Okay. You can see here that I am properly affiliated to the University of Waterloo. So with this situation, I know that I will be able to register. So at this point, I'll go to the Attend tab up here on the top. Select Collegiate Series. And I'm going to register for the SAE Aero Design event. For this point, I will click View Details. I will scroll down, and I want to register for this event. As you guys can see, all the information is put in there. So the membership is good. If this does not have anything here, as if it says expired, please contact your local SAE branch or call us with our customer service here at SAE. You want to make sure that you are affiliated properly and your student membership is up to date. So as you see, all my information here is good to go, so I can register. Let's register. If you could, please mute yourself on the WebEx. I'm going to select to add a new team. I'm going to register for the advanced class.
call ಬಂದಿದೆ SAE Aero ಇಂದ ಬೇಗ ಹೇಳಿ
ಇದೇನ್ ಚಾಟ್ ಇದು
ಮೆಸೆಂಜರ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಮೆಸೆಂಜರ್
Everybody, I'm actually going through and muting some people. Okay, perfect. All right. So once again, I'm going to go back to register myself for the advanced class. I'm just going to name it team number 1.
What if my university affiliated with CDA?
So I'm going to register. I'm going to select to register and pay later. Now, if I select to register and pay later, you'll see this screen come up. Give me 1 second. I'm going to register for the micro class. All right, so right now I'm getting an error saying that the maximum teams list has been reached. This will not occur whenever you guys are registering though. We're actually having an error on our test site, unfortunately, right now. But what's going to happen is once you do this, you are going to receive an invoice within 48 hours. So we're going to go through the CDS payment policy real quick. This is when you go to register and you select pay now or pay later. So if you select a pay now, if the student chooses pay now, they must complete payment for the event online with a credit card. Note, you may be able to use multiple credit cards if you choose. If you choose to pay later, your invoice will generate later. It typically takes about 24 hours for the invoice to generate. The teams will have 48 hours to complete payment with a credit card. Now, we do understand that there are times where a university is going to be the one making the payment, and they'll be sending a check. And this may take longer than the 72 hours that you have to complete this payment. With that being said, we would just need proof the payment has been initiated. What could that proof be? It could be an email from the university stating that the payment is in process. It could also be just an invoice saying that this is in the process as well. With this being said, your team will have until November 27th by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to make the payment. If your team does not make the payment by November 27th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will be removed from the competition. At this time, we will take any questions in which you may have down in the chat at the bottom. If you have not done so already, just a reminder, make sure you are affiliated to your team. The reason we say that is because this year, you will not be able to manually assist anybody on the day of registration. Whenever the day of registration occurs, you must make sure that you are ready to go with your team, with you being affiliated to your team and with your membership being up to date. With that being said, we will not be able to help with any manual registration on SAEs and this year. If you select pay now, you will still be, whether you select pay now or pay later, you will still be registered directly. So it does not matter if you select pay now or pay later, you'll still be registered on the list. If you select pay now, you must complete the payment at that point though. Yes, you will be able, so we have the question, can we add members to our team roster after payment is done? Yes, you will be able to add team members to your roster. In order to do this, you will go to the profile tab on SAE.org and you will be able to add team members that way onto your roster. Next question was, a team can register for 2 classes in a single venue.
They have to go back and start over. They have to go, you must go back and read.
Yeah, yes, you can have 2 classes, but it's going to be 2 different registration processes. So you can have, if you're going to SAE Aero Design East, yes, you can have a team from your university in the advanced class, the micro class, and the regular class. Like I said, it must be done through 3 different registration processes. You can't select 2 classes within the same registration. Also, just a reminder, if your team placed in the top 3 at any of the competitions, so if you place in the top 3 at SAE Aero Design East in the advanced class, you can only pre-register for SAE Aero Design East advanced class.
There was a question about, can I be on 2 different teams for 2 different classes? You cannot. You must only be on a team and only one class registered.
Another question we have is, Ryan, what do I need to do for my university to be affiliated? At this point, you need to contact your local SAE branch to get yourself connected. So we have the same question again. If we select pay now, do we get registered directly or after payment? Once again, if you select pay now, you will still be registered directly. Once you put your payment in, you will be in there. So another question is, I couldn't hear the part about the 2 different classes. Could you please repeat? Yes. So if I am my university with SAE Aero Design, yes, you can register for 2 different classes. However, you will need to register each class separately. So the question is, how much time gap do we have to pay if we have select pay now? At that point, you're going to be putting in your payment information and you're going to be submitting it that way. It will all depend on how long it takes you to put that in.
I think what I think you're asking is, and Kaylee can answer or give me a heads up. Once you hit pay now, then they get a team number and they're already on there. There's no gap, there's no delay like in the past where we had that. It's an instant. You are there, then you can
Their
take your
spot is
time and
reserved.
pay, right?
The spot is reserved, so you can take your time, put it in your credit
Correct.
card. Remember, if you select pay later, you will only have 48 hours to pay. Otherwise, it will be removed.
So the next question we have is, in case of a spelling error, can we change the team name? Yes, you can. You would just need to email us at collegiatecompetitions@sae.org. We will be able to go in there and change the spelling. You need to make this, if you do have this spelling error, it needs to be corrected as soon as possible. The reason we're saying that is because we could have a few technical errors on our end whenever we're going to change it later.
As a reminder, and I'm not sure if Ryan had mentioned it, but the West event this year is in Fort Worth, Texas, and the East event is in Lakeland, Florida. Question from, can we have the same student in 2 different classes at the competition? No, you cannot. You can only be part of a team and part of a single class. You cannot register the same student for both classes.
You put the question, he says, can we have the same student in 2 different classes at the competition? On the SAE.org website, it will not let you affiliate yourself to 2 different rosters. It will only let you affiliate yourself to 1 roster. So the next question is, what if multiple people are attempting to register and accidentally more than one register for the same event and class at the same time? Will both fail or one will be accepted? In the past, we have experienced this, and when it has occurred, we've had duplicate registrations occur for this. At that point, it will be on our end to remove one of those registrations. Next question is, can we log in on the website before the registration begins? I highly recommend that you are logged into www.sae.org before registration begins. Registration is set to begin at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, and it will have a countdown clock on there as well whenever you're going through registration. Does SAE provide any sort of help to obtaining a visa for international competitions? What I will say in regards to this is on the SAE.org website, we do have a spot where we talk about visas for international students. I recommend reading through that paragraph, explaining what SAE does with visas. The question is, so at the moment when registration begins, we will just have to enter the team name and click on register. Another thing that you will want to make sure that you're doing is that you're selecting the appropriate class. Whenever you get on there, you can see that there is advanced, there were micro, and that there were regular class. You want to make sure that you're selecting the right class before you register. This is an error that can occur. We had a few of those errors last year where someone accidentally registered for the regular class when they were supposed to be the advanced. So whenever you're going to register, as you see on this screen right here, oh, hold on, let me show you my screen real fast. As you can see on this screen right here, this is the screen you're going to come to. Make sure you select which class you're going for. Make sure the school name is right, which it should be whenever you go through the affiliation process. Put your team name in and competition category. So if you do by chance select the micro class, make sure this is switched to micro as well.
I don't think it will let you advance.
It won't let you advance.
They gotta be.
And then if you'd like to, you can also put your role on the team. So it could be captain, team member, or the faculty advisor at that point. Okay. I'm trying to see what other.
Where can I obtain my registration number?
So one of the questions is, if by mistake we registered for the advanced class, we want to change it to say micro, is it possible? It is possible, but if the micro class is already sold out, then you will be put onto the wait list. You want to make sure that if you do make this mistake, you contact us as soon as possible. That's why we're talking to you guys about this now. Try to make sure that you avoid all these mistakes. I understand that you're trying to register as quickly as possible, but make sure you are selecting the right classes. So the next question I have is, I did not notice any space to select the East or West competition. Does the class option include that as well?
No, it's at the beginning where you clicked on the event itself, at the very beginning of the.
So when you go into SAE.org, you select the Attend tab, you select Collegiate Design. There's going to be two different sections. There's going to be one for SAE Aero Design East, and there'll be one for SAE Aero Design West. If you want to attend the SAE Aero Design West competitions, you want to click View Details next to that. Once you do that, you'll be taken to the registration page. One of the questions we have is, we can't select the class options beforehand, can we? Whenever you're going in to register, on that registration screen is where you will select the class that you are looking to participate in. It's when I just showed my screen right now, that's when you'll select your class. So when you're saying if we can't select the class option beforehand, you cannot select it beforehand. You can only select it when you start to register. So Dinesh asks, can we affiliate ourselves with the university after the registration? No, unless somebody else has already gone through and registered for you, then yes. What does that mean? So Dinesh, if someone on your team has already gone in, affiliated themselves and registered your team, at that point, you will then be able to go in and affiliate yourself. Yes, other team members. One of the questions are, what are the changes in the registration process this year from last year? As I stated earlier during the PowerPoint slide, one of the changes are going to be that pre-registration phase and window one phase. So window one, which will open October 14th, you will be able to go, if your team is an advanced class team, you'll be able to register for either SAE Aero Design East Advanced Class or SAE Aero Design West Class. If you choose East, you will have to wait until window 2 opens up, which is October 28th, to register for the other event.
Yeah, is it necessary for international teams to stay at the Radisson Hotel? It is not necessary. It's highly recommended. That's where the registration, sales presentation, and tech inspection takes place, but it is not necessary you stay at the hotel.
So one of the questions we have is if we select advanced class in the cost option and regular in the option that says category, what will happen? It will not let you advance at this point. You will have to make sure that you select both. So if you're trying to go for advanced, you must select advanced in both categories. Okay. So just to verify with everybody, www.saeaerodesign.com and www.sae.org are two different sites. When registering your team, you will want to make sure that you are doing everything through www.sae.org. So when you're registering your team, it's going to take place at sae.org. With saeaerodesign.com, this is where you will submit rules questions and where you will submit your documents. So when registration opens up, you want to be on SAE.org. Next question is, would internet speed affect how fast one can register?
Yes.
Yes, it will affect how fast someone can register. If my internet is faster than Kaylee's internet and I'm able to get through the process quicker, then I'll be registered before Kaylee is.
This is one of those cases where you don't want to do it on your phone or do it remotely. You want to be hardwired into a desktop computer.
Question is it all right if we don't add any role in the team and register? Yes, it is all right. We had this come up last year, but I would highly recommend that you do select a team role whenever you are registering. It's not mandatory. It's mandatory last year.
No, I don't think so.
It automatically assigns your team member.
Okay. So the question is, what if we pay the amount after registration? You don't get the payment even after 48 hours. What would happen? At this time, you're going to get an email from us saying that payment has not been made. The email that you are going to get is going to look like this.
Registered, yeah.
Yes, this email is going to be going to whoever registered your team. We're going to be looking for any proof that the payment has been made. As long as you provide us proof that the payment is in process, Then we will be able to allot you until November 27th to have the payment completed. If the payment is not completed by November 27th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be removing your team from the competition. The question is, if we register for West first and East, but we want to participate in the East only, can we delete our team from the West registrations? My recommendation would then be to register for East first and then for West. But if you were registered for both, if you're on the active list for both of the, and you want to delete your team from the West registration, yes, that is possible. Just communicate that to collegiatecompetitions@sae.org that you want to be removed from that list. Question is, can you please let us know about the available payment options? The payment options have not changed since last year, so what those are check, wire transfer, or credit card. Question is, who can we contact in case of any issues during registration regarding payment? You can send emails to collegiatecompetitions@sae.org during this time. What I would highly recommend is just if you believe that you're going to have issues with payment during registration, is to select the pay later option. If you believe that you're going to have issues during registration with payment, select the pay later option. Question is, so what if we pay the money again and you receive both the payments? So if you register for SAE Aero Design East and you register for SAE Aero Design West, and a month later you decide my team is going to drop out of SAE Aero Design West, as stated in the rules, registration fees are non-refundable. To answer the questions, it says no debit cards allowed. Yes, you can use your debit card as long as it is a Visa or MasterCard.
We would want to check it for
So it says, the question is, what about the waitlisted teams? Is there any sequence as to which teams will get the vacant spot, if any? What's going to happen is when the registered teams list fills up, the very next team to have registered will be first on the wait list. So regardless of class. So if, let's say a team drops off in the advanced class and the next team on the list is University of Waterloo class, that team will get promoted. The question is, how long does it usually take for all the registration slots to be full? In years past, registration has filled up within minutes. It's taken a few minutes. We are hoping this year with our new registration process that this will not be the case, and it will allow the opportunity for more unique universities to be able to register for competitions. But that being said, this is our first year doing this registration process, so still expect it to fill up within minutes. The question is, do we have to make a team profile page or will it automatically be made once someone registers? Yes, once you have registered your team, you will already have a team profile set up under that event that you registered for. Question is, where do we get the payment invoice stating that the transaction is still going on to show it as proof that the payment has been made? You can find this under the event page. So you can find this under the SAE Aero Design East under the profile tab. Once you go there, your team will be displayed and you select your team. In the upper right-hand corner, it will show the invoice. And on that invoice, it will say whether it has been paid or not. If you do have any questions about your invoice, once again, feel free to email us at collegiatecompetitions@sae.org. The question is, will there be any problem if multiple people are registering for one team? On your end, there will not be any problems. There is a chance that the duplicate registration would occur, and on our end, we would have to remove one of the duplicate registrations. So there will be no problem with that, as teams have done that in the past to try to ensure that they do get a slot. Question was generally how many waitlisted teams get accepted in. This varies year to year, so it is very hard for us to predict how many teams will be able to get removed and added off the waitlist. So make sure that when you're registering as quickly and as efficiently as possible. The question is, if a team is registered twice, will that fill up the seats?
We will remove one of those duplicates like you had said earlier.
Yes, we will remove one of those duplicates. And at that point, if the registered teams list is full, once we remove that duplicate team, we will promote the first team off of the wait list. The question is, what if multiple people from the same team are trying for both East and West and both get registered confirmations? What will be the process further on? At that point, someone from the Collegiate Design Series here with SAE will be contacting you to let you know that this error has occurred. We will then remove whichever one of those registrations in which you tell us. So if you really want to go to East over West, then we will remove you from the West competition and keep you in the East. Question is, should we refresh the page if we feel that we are stuck, or do we just wait? You would not want to refresh the page. At this point, if you feel that you are stuck, I would just wait. If you refresh the page, then you're going to cause errors on that page itself, and you will have to begin over again with the registration process. Question is there any further details which are going to be discussed after the Q&A is over? We will not be discussing any further information. If you do have if you're looking for articles, any registration changes, you can find these at www.saeaerodesign.com. We have listed most of this information on the news feed on that website. The question is, do we need a student membership for $30 to affiliate with the university? As in our rules, you must be a student member of SAE in order to participate in a Collegiate Design Series event. Question is, do we get a payment extension if we get notified later, example around November 26th, that we might get a vacant spot from the waitlist teams? At this point, on November 26th, if you are promoted, you will then have 48 hours to make a payment. You will get a waitlist offer from Collegiate Design Series explaining the process. The question is, can we get the student membership for other teammates after the registration is done? So if you have gone ahead and registered your team and you have to add members to your team after your team has already been added to the registered teams list, then yes, you can add other team members and get them their memberships at that point. The question is, how do we show proof of payment if the university is paying by check? What we need is email communication between you and the university stating that the check is in process. We can use that as proof. When you are registering, one thing to keep in mind is if your team ends up on the wait list, you will not be asked to make payment at that time. It is only when you are on the active registered teams list that payment will be required. Question is there a last date to add members to the roster? Yes, the last date to add members to your roster is 2 weeks prior to the competition. So make sure that you're checking the SAE.org website, as this deadline will be posted under the SAE Aero Design East page itself. The question is there any help desk number to contact for help during registration? Now, Again, when I stated earlier, during registration, we will not be able to help manually register anybody. So you will want to make sure that your account is all set up before registration even begins. But we will be adding our customer service number in the chat area that you can contact before registration opens. Once again, once registration opens, we will not be able to manually register any teams. We'll give it about another 5 minutes to answer any questions in which you guys may have. So if you do have any questions, once again, make sure you submit them in the chat area and we'll answer them as quickly as possible. The question is, how does the project supervisor register without a SAE membership? So the project supervisor, or known as the faculty advisor, can register with a free membership at SAE.org. It's a free customer account. So it's not considered a membership. It's actually a free customer account, which can give them an SAE number to affiliate themselves to your team. The question is, if a student is registered multiple times, how do you guys decide which entry to remove? At that point, if this team, which is rare, has registered for SAE Aero Design East advanced class and SAE Aero Design West advanced class during window 1, like I said, it is a rare situation. We will contact you which one that you would be removed from, as the rules do restrict you from only being able to participate in one during window 1. The question is, do any other teams stand a chance to pre-register if some pre-registered team does not want to register at some point? No. The pre-registration period is only opened up for the top 3 teams in each class at the competitions, and they have the opportunity to pre-register. If they choose to buy registration, that is the choice of the team itself. The question is, if we are bringing our pilot to the competition, do we have to register his name as well? Yes, you will need to register your pilot, and he has to be on your fast track roster as well.
There's a category.
Yes, there is a category to where they can select the team role as pilot. Next question is, for pre-registration, are the top 3 teams the one who won prizes in overall category or any other category as well? The top 3 teams are the teams that won overall in their class. So it's not by event specifically, it's by East or the West overall. Question is, pilot can be provided if we don't have one, correct? Yes, a pilot can be provided if you don't have one. Just make sure that you do reach out to us at collegiatecompetitions@sae.org. The question is, so if a pilot can fly for multiple teams, which team should register his name in the roster? It does not matter at this point which team he is put on, just as long as he is put on one of the rosters. So we'll give it about 2 more minutes for questions. So if you do have any questions, please send them our way now. The question is, do we have the freedom of choice with regards to payload drops, or is there some sort of restriction? So this would be a rules question. With the rules questions, you will submit these at www.saeaerodesign.com. Next question is, can you give the list of roles for individuals after registration? So the roles that you will have listed would be team captain, team member, faculty advisor, and pilot. The team captain role is, as it stated, the team captain of your team. Faculty advisor is the supervisor of your team, so you want to make sure that you affiliate them. The pilot is who will be piloting the plane, and the team member is for everyone else that will be on your roster. Just a reminder, all roles are to be submitted to www.saeaerodesign.com. So whenever you're going to register, you will do that at sae.org. But whenever you are submitting your documents, and whenever you have any rules questions, these will take place at saeaerodesign.com.
Writing what you were.
All right, this time we'll take one more question. And the question is, what if we have registered for multiple classes? Do we have to register the pilot under both the classes? No, you will just need to register the pilot under one of the teams. The pilot can then fly for any of the teams. Just make sure you do have them registered under one of the rosters. All right, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us today. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to email customerservice@sae.org. Also, you can email us at collegiatecompetitions@sae.org. Once again, if you have not set up your account with SAE.org, make sure you are contacting customer service or your local SAE branch to make sure that you are affiliated properly to your university. Thank you guys all for joining us today, and we will be talking with you and seeing you guys on registration on October 14th.